The Space Launch System just had its rollout. But how much is that actually costing to launch? The Space Launch System is the heavy lift rocket that's going to be launching people to the moon. Although there has just been a tweet that went out today that said that NASA just bought a Starship for another mission from SpaceX for bringing people to the moon for the Artemis missions. However, when the Space Launch System does launch, it's going to be known as the most powerful rocket to have ever launched. Weighing at just about 5.5 million pounds, it is a pretty heavy lift launch vehicle. Let's look at some of the stats. Now, take with a grain of salt the fact that launching really any vehicle, it's going to cost something, right? Launching an airplane, well, I guess lifting off an airplane is going to cost something. We pay as passengers to fly on a plane because that covers the cost of the fuel, the manufacturing, the staff, etc. So we have to keep that in mind when it comes to also launching rockets, because one day I do think and I do believe that we all are going to be launching on rockets one day as civilians. Either you're going to be doing a space tourism trip, or you're going to be traveling to another planet as a worker, possibly. So I really think that'll be possible. Let's first look at some stats of how much launches actually cost. So the SLS is a 7 metric ton launch vehicle standing at about 321 feet tall, providing 8.4 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. Compare that to the Falcon Heavy, which is about 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. Now, when Starship does actually come into full fruition and it is going to launch, that is going to probably end up being the most powerful rocket, producing 17 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. So let's break this down of how much it was first projected to cost. In 2012, which was shortly after the SLS was first announced by NASA, they estimated that it would cost about $500 million for each mission. Now, that was originally targeting for a 2017 debut. Things sometimes take a while. It happens, when you're manufacturing something that's never been manufactured before. Remember that. In 2014, NASA was quoting to Congress saying that it should cost somewhere around $7 billion to make the rocket. By 2021, it then went up to about $11 billion. And finally, today, with the rocket being rolled out, it came to a total cost of about $30 billion to develop the SLS. Recent estimates coming from a NASA Inspector General said that it should cost somewhere around $4.1 billion to launch the launch vehicle. That's about $58,000 per kilogram to launch to low Earth orbit. So why so much per kilogram? Well, the first thing you have to keep in mind is the rocket is using solid rocket fuel, which is on the outside engines. So it has 2 solid rocket boosters on the exterior, and then it has that one main booster in the center, making up a total of 4 RS-25 engines. It's going to cost a lot to fuel the rocket. For a little bit of perspective, the Falcon 9 rocket costs about $200,000 just to fuel it. So it's $200,000 per flight to fuel the rocket. Conclusion on this video, basically launching any type of rocket is going to cost something, but I would say that in the endeavor of human exploration, space exploration, and advancement of our very own species, it's all worth it.